campaign. At that time, there were over 300 delegates from 26 countries participating in a youth parliament. The youth parliament itself was held at the Pegasus, and names that many persons may recognize today were involved in that youth parliament. The Honorable Attorney General, Anil Nandlal, was a delegate. Foreign Secretary Robert Prasad was a delegate. Former President of the University of Guyana Student Society, Jonathan Adams, was a delegate and also a member of the organizing team. Karen Burtsmith from that famous legal family was also there, among many, many others. Later on, there was the youth parliament organized by the Honorable Kwame McCoy, and that took on a dynamics of its own, promoting parliamentary procedure among young people. And around 2015, as part of our Commonwealth Day observances and our program to promote Westminster parliamentary system, the parliament under the then Speaker, Raphael Trotman, introduced the National Youth Parliament, which was organized by the National Assembly under the patronage of the Speaker. That youth parliament moved into another activity, a parliament organized for school children drawn from the 11 educational districts in our country. And we would have had prior a youth parliament for school children and a youth parliament for persons drawn from the University of Guyana. This year, we are going to have these youth parliaments again, and they're scheduled for the second, third week of August of this year. What we have also decided to do is to ensure that we can have a feeder into the youth parliament, especially where the school children youth parliament is concerned. We do have a collaboration with the Ministry of Education, and the delegates to the school youth parliament are drawn from, as I said before, all 11 educational districts. And those are nominated by the administrators of our education system in those 11 districts. So we have a huge pool, and we have a system of narrowing down that pool to the required number of parliamentarians for the school parliament. What was constricting was the youth parliament, which only saw us pulling young people from the University of Guyana. And my contention was that young people moving on to the University of Guyana only constitute a very small percentage of the young people who are in our wider population. For example, we know this year some 13 to 14,000 teenagers will write CXC. But maybe only 10% of them may move on to tertiary education. The others choose different avenues. And so the thinking behind this national youth debating competition was to reach out to youth clubs, youth organizations, and we have kept them to, again, the 11 electoral districts of our country. Sorry, not 11 educational districts of our country. And so we have arrived at this national youth debating competition. I want to acknowledge the quick response from the Minister and the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, with whom we have collaborated to get the short list of youth organizations. The competition will run from the 15th of June to the 9th of July. And because of our experiences with dealing with COVID and also the COVID pandemic itself, we have to keep this competition in a short window of time. So we say we're keeping it short and simple. And so it's going to be run from June the 15th to July the 9th. There will be 16 youth groups participating in the competition. And there will be 4 rounds. The competition itself will be held on Tuesdays and Fridays with 2 debating contests each day. One running from 10 to 11 a.m. and the other from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. These competitions will also be rebroadcasted at different times. We're reaching out to media houses to join us in televising and carrying the debates on social media and their own websites. Round 1 will see 8 winning youth groups emerging. In round 2, we will narrow down to 4 that comprises the quarterfinals. Round 3 will see the semi-finals, and round 4 will see the winners. We have a number of youth groups, and if you bear with me, I will read them out. Participation will be from the Orinoco Sport Group, Queenstown Youth Group, Anna Regina Youth Group, Bell West Youth Group, Small Steps Big Impact Youth Group, Young Professionals, Grove Diamond Youths in Development, Berbice Development Youth Group, Golden Ohm Youth Group, number 58, Swing Star Youth Group, Angoy's Avenue Youth Group, Madia Youth Group, Linden Superstar Youth Group, Cash Talent Management, Cummings Lodge Youth Movement, and the University of Guyana Student Society. Those are the 16 groups that we have. As I've mentioned before, the rationale behind these initiatives from the Parliament is to promote the culture of democracy and the work of democratic institutions among our people at all ages and across all locations. Exciting topics are slated for all the rounds, and today we are going to be doing the draw, pairing one group with another group in the competition. So that will happen immediately after these brief remarks, which will be made. One of the rationales behind the selecting of the groups and the locations had to be availability of internet access, because the competition will be a hybrid one between in-person presentations and also virtual presentations. And our team that was introduced to you earlier They are assiduously working to ensure that we can have both the virtual and persons who want to do um, a physical presentation using facilities that we will make available, that can happen. So our team is working assiduously in that regard. I want to introduce the person to my right, your left on the screen, Miss Carlotta Charles, who is chairing this committee in the event that we have omitted any significant aspect of this competition. Ms. Charles will be able to brief us. Carlotta?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to everyone, all our viewers and the media. At this point, I believe Mr. Speaker has comprehensively covered what we have to deliver, and we'll go straight into the draw, matching the teams to their respective moods and informing everyone of the particular date those teams would be debating against each other. I take you straight over to Mr. Alonzo Scipio, our production technician, who is very good at using technology, and he'll explain the process to you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Carter Charles. Mr. Speaker, good morning again. Before I head over to share my screen, I would just like to remind all participants, those who are taking part in the competition, that the drawing, or more so the selection process of your pairing, is fully automatic. That is, it is nothing of the sort whereby we can you can say that we have fixed anything, or more so that there was any plan to select same. All right. You should be seeing my screen now, those who are on the Zoom platform and those who are in person. As you can see, we're using a software. I don't know why it's shorting out. Okay. Let's see now. Make sure it's not shorting out. One moment, please, as we fix this glitch quickly. Switch back. Switch back to you guys and then I'll fix it. Switch back and I'll fix it. Switch back to you guys. I'll hand over back to Ms. Carter Charles as she gives a bit more in depth as I switch back. I'll try to fix the issue with the screen here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Scipio. On our Zoom call today are a number of our participants. Thank you for joining. I encourage you to give your best into this debate. Your voices would be heard across the nation, and not just across the nation, but globally, since we'll be live streaming on our website, the Facebook page, the YouTube channel of the Parliament of Guyana. So make every use of this opportunity. I'd like to inform you too that prizes would be given, very attractive prizes would be given to our participants, not just the winning teams and the finalists, but generally Of course, all our participants are important, your voices are important, and so you have those prizes to look forward to. I encourage our general audience as well to tune in. Listen to our young people. They have different perspectives and they would be able to inform good decision making in our country. I believe at this time, Mr. December has some information to share with you as well.
Thank you. As we sort out our technical difficulties, as you're aware, the debating competition would be live streamed on our Parliament webpage. It will also be streamed on the Facebook and the YouTube channels as well. Every session will be rebroadcast. We're actually in talks with the NCN, and we will have a specific time that will be shared, of course, in the coming future for that rebroadcast. Once again, I am asking and all the media houses to, share in what we're about to embark on here. This is a very wonderful venture, and I can tell you, based on the fact that I was a part of, I am a part of the annual youth debate in youth parliament for the past 4 years, 5 years, and I'm going to tell you that this year is going to be even bigger and better. We said that every year, and I am sure some of you will attest to it, that we have delivered. What I can tell you is prepare yourself to see the nation's youth and to see them excel. I know, given an opportunity to be a part of an organization like the Parliament Office, it has done wonders for me. And I can tell you that being a part of this competition, those very youths, it's going to be a wonderful experience for them. And I can tell you this based on the fact that I have heard from the past parliamentarians, youth parliamentarians that is, some of the experiences they would have shared over time of their experiences here. What I can say though is, unlike the other events where, it was a lot more, it allowed for in-person gathering, the experience was much different. But I can assure you, even though it is a virtual setting, right, it is going to be just as dynamic. It is going to be just as dynamic. So I'm not sure, did we share the judges? Okay. We have a total of 9 judges. Those are as follows. Dr. Valerie Gorsami Smith, she's a former lecturer of the University of Guyana. We have also Mr. Neil Marks. He is a producer and an editorial consultant. We have also Mr. Delon Fraser, a distinguished Toastmaster. He hails from the Classic Toastmasters Club. He's also a chief judge. We have 2 former youth parliamentarians, one by the name of Miss Brianna Ramnarain. She was the best debater in the junior category of last year's for the 5th annual youth parliament. We also have Mr. what's his King? Rion Miller, yes, Mr. Rion Miller. Mr. Rion Miller was the former youth parliamentarian best debater for the senior category, that is the university category. Like I said, this is going to be a wonderful, wonderful experience. We also have judges coming out of the Ministry of Youth and Sport, this morning we would have received from the minister the judge that will be representing the ministry. Her name, one second, please. Yeah, sorry. Yes, her name is Miss Melissa. Now, was it Roberts? Okay, sorry. Yes, Miss Melissa Roberts. She is the Assistant Director of Sport, and she is the representative of the Ministry of Culture, Youth, and Sport. We also have joining us on the judges panel, Miss Nazima Rahagabir. She is the current president of the Guyana Press Association. Also joining us would be two of our staff members here at the Parliament Office. Miss Sonia Maxwell, she is the head of committees division here at the Parliament Office, and we also have Miss Monet Garnett Christopher. She is the chief administrative officer here at the Parliament Office. So we are going to have a wonderful competition, as I stated. The judging pool is very experienced and deep, and I am sure that this is going to be a stellar performance. We're going to see stellar performances from the youths. Please bear with us as we continue to, as we continue to work out our technical difficulties. What I will do now is, if there are any questions, members of the media who are here presently would like to ask, we would be willing to answer those questions in the meantime.
Those who are in the media on
by the way, those who are joining us virtually as well, you may send your questions in the comment section area there, and we would be happy to answer those questions. Oh, you have a question. You will answer.
We do have a question here. What are some of the prizes and incentives? Motivating the groups to participate, and there is a lot of enthusiasm among all of the youth clubs that have been selected. They want to be involved. They have not had an opportunity at this level to put their skills, which they think they have, into use. So the incentive basically is people are self-motivated to get involved. Outside of that, we want to incentivize the competition, because we should also offer those who are prepared to be involved in their community groups, in their community development, some tangible reward. We know that we're going to be with COVID and virtual learning and virtual events for some time. The committee is thinking of, from the quarterfinals, that there will be electronic devices to help those participants, and the best debater will be awarded a very, what should I say, sophisticated laptop, because you need the high specs in order to do some of the things you want to do on virtual platforms. In fact, only this weekend, my 8-year-old grandson wanted to do something, and my laptop didn't have the graphics card to accommodate the program, and he was very disappointed. So good specifications with the electronic devices are going to be necessary as we advance e-learning and e-participation in events. Of course, we are going to have certificates of participations, honorary plaques, and trophies for the participants. Unfortunately, the next question is how does a person get involved? One of the reasons why we are choosing to go the route of youth clubs is because among our people, we have to learn the value of teamwork. None of us by ourselves can develop ourselves and achieve what we want for our families and ourselves. It's going to have to be networking, being part of a team, and being responsible citizens. So while you may not be involved in one of these 16 youth organizations that were selected for this inaugural round of the youth debating competition, next year we can have preliminaries, and we're leaving a lot of the ideas to our organizing team, but next year we can have preliminaries and persons can participate through their youth organizations. I like working with groups, and there is a lot of benefit in working with groups. So I urge persons, even from now, get involved. Get involved with your community groups, get involved with youth organizations, civic groups, and let your voices be heard. Okay, we have a question on what will be the debating format, times for each team, each speaker, rebuttals, how many members will be on each team. I have that information, but let me pass the mics over to the committee chairperson.
Each team will comprise 3 members, so 3 on the government, 3 on the proposing team. We deal with Parliament so much. 3 on the proposing team, 3 on the opposing team. The software that we have, that Mr. Alonso will show to the viewers in a few minutes, will generate the teams, will place those teams into proposing and opposing, and it would also generate which moot those teams will actually debate. We have the dates, of course, for each debate. However, we don't want to select by ourselves. We're using the software to randomly match these teams with their moots and the dates.
Okay, there's another question on how the judges were identified. This is an inaugural competition, and we had to reach out to persons who we considered with as having integrity, representing different aspects of our society, different professions, a mixture of younger persons and more experienced persons. And from a pool, the organizing committee had this criteria, among which I've just mentioned, and so the judges were organized and selected. I'm sure that at the end of this first inaugural competition, we are going to get a lot more persons volunteering, willing to offer their services, their advice, and to be part of the next National Youth Debating Competition, which we probably will hold earlier next year, earlier than this period. 2021, like 2020, has just appeared on us in a rush, having to cope with all of the challenges which our society has faced, the pandemic, now floods, internet access availability. So these are all some of it, some of the challenges we've had in this last few months putting together the concepts and the competition. We're also in a tight window. The National Assembly goes into recess from the 10th of August to the 10th of October. So that is time when staff gets to go and leave. We do maintenance, renovation at the Parliament buildings, and that window that was left to us was June and July. So as we finish this competition, we're almost ready to run off the 2 youth parliaments in August. And that is why we have had to make certain decisions and to do and use our own good judgment in working to get this competition organized and executed. We're really thankful to the Honorable Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, who readily responded to cooperate with us and delegated a particular staff to work with our team. And because of that quick decision, we were able to get this competition started on June the 15th. Alonso is ready?
All right. Good morning once again to Honorable Speaker, Ms. Charles, Yannick, colleagues, and the media. As you know, Mr. Speaker is one of the most tech-savvy speaker there is. To my knowledge, that is. If you check him right now, he has an Apple iPod, and he does not type. Everything he does, he writes, and that goes into text. So on that premise, the reason why I'm saying this is because he gave the idea of a virtual draw. He omitted the whole idea of having the students or the participants come in physical and have their pull a bag and name and XYZ. All right. So today I want to give you a brief overview of what the software is that we're using to pair the competitors. I know on Zoom right now they can see my screen, and on Facebook and YouTube. I'll ask Brandon to double click and to share that screen with them as we get on with board. All right. So as you look here, we're using a software called the League Lobster. All right. So it's a general software that we use, or persons use more rather, to generate tournaments and fixtures in some cases randomly. Again, I want to assure every participant that we have no say as to who goes against who, on what dates or what mood they will be tasked with. All right. The information was given to the team as we compile them. We had the moods, we had the topic, we had the dates, and we put into the software and left that to them here. And if we check here, as you can see on my screen, I have the 16 teams that will be competing in this year's Speakers National Debating Competition. We have them in alphabetical order, but you will see after we generate that thing automatically, they will not be as same. All right, and if you can see here, you can go all the way down. I'm sure a person on the Facebook Live can see, correct, and on our Zoom platform. All right, so we have the 16 teams here, and again, repeating again, we have no say. We had no say, we have no say as again who will get against who, on what date and what time. All right. So as you go down, as you see, I have the time slots here. Basically, that tells us on what day or what time the topics will be debated. You can see clearly there we have no team there situated or aligned to any topic. All we have there is the time, the day, and the appropriated mood that we had for the specific day. As you know, the competition starts on June 15th and runs until July the 6th. That will give us about 4 weeks of competition. All right. So the software that we're using here today will now be able to calculate automatically from week 1 or week 2. As you know, from week 1 or week 2, from there, the winners and losers will be categorized and then we'll move forward. So we cannot automatically have anything for that say. All right, so I'll go to scroll down to the bottom quickly so you can see what is it we're dealing with. Again, we have no say, no fixture, nothing fixed. All right, so if you have any grievances after this draw, please address those to the committee. We will be sure to remind you that everything is automatic. All right, we had no say. The speaker is clearly out of this. Clearly, he has no say. He had nothing to say on this. All right, so I'm going to click generate schedule. All right, what that will do, it basically show me the schedule as to who will go against who. I want the person online watching right now on Zoom. You take note of your pen. Of course, you get an official communication after this stating who you have on what day. But for your own sake, prepare your minds and prepare your hearts and the debating skills after I press the green button. So I'm going to press it now, and you're going to see the loading thing is going to be loading there. That right now is basically the computer or the software automating the pairing. All right, so again, we have no say. The speaker has no say. All right, so let's not have any social media banter about the speaker fixing any match in here. We don't fix matches here. All right, so if you look, they say it's taking a bit longer. They are now simulating the final pairing, and tada, we have the final pairing there for your viewership. I know for my can't think it's a bit too far, but we have the final pairing there. This software doesn't have proposing and opposing in that home and away, all right, as you know. So as agreed by the committee, we're going to have home being proposing and away being the opposition. As you know, home is always on your left on the screen, and on your right of the screen, we have the proposing. So 10 a.m. on June the 15th, who's going to be starting off this competition. We're going to have the Madja Youth Group versus the Queenstown Youth Group. All right, and they're going to be dealing with this big fancy word, psychedelic drugs, uses declines academic performance. This is one of the moods that'll be sent to you. All right, and as you see, as the day goes along there, you'll have the structure as to how we'll be going along. In the afternoon at 2 p.m., we have Bell West Youth Group versus the Grove and Diamond Youths in Development. Once again, I want to reiterate that the speaker had nothing to do with this. All right, as you can see, we have Madja versus Queenstown. I think Queenstown is in Region 2 or Region 1. Yes, so we have Madja, then we have Region 2. Very far apart, all right? We don't know the skills or the skill set of each individual youth group, but however, we're trusting that you come with your best on that day. And as you go down, you can see that on June 18th, as you go down, we have Young Professionals versus Golden Arm Youth Group. This will be sent to you via email, via PDF file. The thing about the software here, we can publish this schedule here, and it's open to the public. So there's no cries of lack of transparency to that matter of fact, or there's no cries of anything in the background. Everything you see here is going to be live on our website and our Facebook page. So whenever you want to check a score, you want to check a fixture, you can see it right here. It doesn't change. So this would be your official pairing for as you go on for the first round. And as you know, it's a single elimination round, meaning you lose, you get knocked out. Right, so as you lose, you proceed gracefully. No big banter or judges, as the speaker rightfully said, they are well qualified judges, and they know what they're about. I've seen the judges panel, and my God, Neil Marks, yes, come on. Anyhow, as we move forward, I'm going to publish the schedule so all can see. I'm clicking the green button at the bottom, so I'm basically making it public. And I'm going to choose the ad-free, of course, you know. So now we have a public document. You can now be able, we will share the link after this, and you will be able to see the fixtures, that is, who will go up against who after this, and the points allocation. All right. If I am allowed to scroll this screen one last time, I will take you over here to the public schedule, and it will load. As you can see here, it gives you a typical format for sport, but it's a debate. And as you can see, we have the names of the teams in alphabetical order, of course. Then we have the points allocated. We're going to disregard the first and the first column, which is goal points, draw, goal difference, and the XYZ. But we're going to focus on win, lose, and if there's a draw, let's hope not, and the points. So as you can see, this document, or most of this arena of tournament, will be live, will be public for all to see. All right. So if you have any questions, please feel direct those in the Zoom, those who are on the Facebook, please direct those questions. I'll now hand you back over to Mr. December as he proceeds today's event. I'll now share my screen. I'll ask Brandon to switch back to the main screen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. CPO. I am sure after that stellar performance and presentation, there will be no questioning the validity of your program. Ladies and gentlemen, and those of you viewing, thank you very much for signing in today. Like I said earlier, and we all said, this is a wonderful initiative. And we are about to see stellar performances from the youths of Guyana. All I can say in closing is put your best foot forward to those who are debating. And for those who are viewing, I would like for you to please sign in, encourage our youths. They are the future. And if we do not encourage them, then where are we going as a nation? So with that being said, I would like to thank everyone for being here today, joining us from wherever you are. I would like to thank my team, thank especially Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to be able to plan and execute this wonderful initiative. And with that being said, I would also like to thank the media for being here, who are present here, and thank you for showing us your vaccination cards. And with that being said, I would like to take you over to Mr.
Let me join with Mr. December to express our sincere thanks to you for joining us virtually and in person. And I want to give my special thanks to the team who has worked very hard over the past 4 weeks to get this program organized, and more particularly to launch it and now to see it ready for execution. Team, thank you very, very much. One of the reasons why we're doing this is among our staff at the National Assembly, we have some of the persons I've met with quite a bit of academic qualification backed by years of experience in the National Assembly. And what I would say to persons out there, I've been in this National Assembly since 1992. I've seen many of these staff throughout these years. But what I've seen is the motivation of staff members not to rest on the job they got, but to continue with their education and training for higher aspirations. And this is very commendable. And so I'm very honored that they have accepted the challenge to be in the forefront of organizing the National Youth Debating Competition and also our Youth Parliament.